Carl, these new charges now really ratchet up the level of seriousness for Sam Bankman-Fried, and he could be facing additional time if the government is able to prove its case in this slew of new charges just added to the FTX case here. But I want to direct your attention to these political contribution issues. Here's what the new indictment says about the political contributions and the scale of this effort. They're saying that Sam Bankman-Fried, the defendant, and his co-conspirators made over 300 political contributions totaling tens of millions of dollars that were unlawful because they were made in the name of a straw donor or paid for with corporate funds. So what the indictment is saying here is that there was a massive effort to influence the political system here in Washington by Sam Bankman-Fried by pumping money into the system that he didn't want people to know he was pumping into the system. In the indictment, they say that the defendant and his co-conspirators recorded outgoing wire transfers from Alameda, the hedge fund, to individuals' bank accounts for purposes of making contributions as just loans or expenses. Of course, that's against federal election rules. And to underscore the sort of cynicism of the alleged conspiracy here, one of the details in the indictment really stands out to me, which is that the defendant and others were trying to recruit a straw person who's identified here as co-conspirator 1 to contribute money on behalf of Sam Bankman-Fried, at least $1 million to a political action committee that was supporting a candidate running for United States congressional seat and appeared to be affiliated with pro-LGBTQ issues, selecting this straw contributor as a person to make the contribution in Sam Bankman-Fried's behalf. A political consultant working for Bankman-Fried asked CC1, the co-conspirator 1, to make the contribution and said, in general, you being the center-left face of our spending will mean you giving a lot of woke stuff for transactional purposes. So the suggestion here is that these were transactional payments to politicians to curry favor with those politicians, disguised as sort of woke pro-LGBT contributions and that sort of thing on the merits of the issue. But in reality, what they were looking for here was a transaction with that politician. So there's a lot of more names to come out here in terms of who all these people were, what exactly was happening here, who the politicians were. But the government now alleging a serious effort here by Sam Bankman-Fried and his co-defendants to influence the political system with a lot of secret money, Carl. And we'll bring you more as soon as we can get it in terms of who these people might have been and any response from Sam Bankman-Fried's team.
So, Eamon, this adds up to a total of how many charges? How does this extend what he's facing?
Well, it looks like what we're dealing with now is 11 new charges on everything from wire fraud to conspiracy to commit securities fraud, conspiracy to commit bank fraud. You could be looking at years and years and years of potential new time involved in this if the government's able to prove this case. Remember, an indictment, just an allegation. They've got to prove this in a court of law, and we'll hear what Sam Bankman-Fried's side has to say about all this. But this is a serious ratcheting up of the scale of sort of legal jeopardy that Sam Bankman-Fried is facing.
Yeah, as if it weren't already. Eamon,
Right.
Thank you very much. Keep us posted. Eamon Javers.